This is what a currency that is failing looks like in paper form. This is what it looks like when it's compared against silver, a true and tried monetary medium over the last year when it's down 47%. This, my friends, is something worth talking about. All right, so I want to take a minute, share some thoughts in reference to just what a failing fiat currency looks like in real time. And it has a lot to do with the Federal Reserve note and all the other fiat currencies around the world that are underperforming severely when measured against silver. And of course, gold has already proven that, fiat currencies fail over time. It's been, tested throughout history. But what's different about this one is that silver is a laggard. It is the lowest, nominally speaking, of the four metals that are usually, measured as a wealth preservation tools between gold, platinum, palladium, and rhodium for those that pay attention. But silver still at a measly $58, while all the other metals are in four digits on their way to five and then perhaps six, God forbid. But then again, I want to take a minute, share with you some graph action, some chart action, and just thumb through a variety of currencies so that you can get an idea as to what I'm referring to when I'm talking about literally living in a reset where the Federal Reserve note and all the other currencies are failing when measured against silver. And so let's just jump right into it. So on the screen here, you see USD to gold, or to silver, forgive me. And so as I zoom out here, you can see that over the last year, it has been dwindling at a very alarming rate to the point where 47% of relative purchasing power gone if you had just held on to these items here in the idea of wanting to redeem them for silver. But on a day-to-day basis, using Federal Reserve notes for legal tender purposes, for bills and everyday expenditures, this is what this medium is for, literally. But if you set aside, say, $100 last year with the idea of saying, next year at December 3rd or 4th, I'm going to go out and buy an ounce of silver, and you set aside $100 a year ago for this particular date, literally, you're not able to get the full 2 ounces that you would have gotten a year ago. Nevertheless, last year you could have gotten 3 to 4 ounces, perhaps, depending on what you're looking for. So over time, you'll need more units to acquire more of these. And that's the whole point there. And so here we have, just within the last month, 17.66%, within the last week, 9.84%, within the last 24 hours, the Federal Reserve note is up a measly 30%, 0.30%, if I might be correct. And so the question is, what other currencies are performing the same exact way? And the truth is, every single currency. So if we were to invert this chart to show you the performance of an ounce of silver when measured against failing fiat, silver is up, according to this exchange ratio on the exxe.com. Silver is up 88.30%. So had a person put aside a stack of silver a year ago and said, next year at December 3rd or 4th, I'm going to take that same silver and go exchange them for fiat, you would have got a heck of a lot more in Federal Reserve note terms if you needed to cash in or redeem or spend or whatever. You get my drift. But let's look at a couple other currencies real quick here, and then we'll take a much more different approach towards understanding what's happening right now. Now, all the talk of the town happens to be surrounding the Japanese yen carry trade unwinding. And so literally, for my people who have held the yen over the last year, holding just solely fiat, digital and paper yen, it is down 48.80%. So let's just say, round it off, 49%. So literally half of the purchasing power in fiat terms has vanished. Not surprising. Let's keep it going. We got more currencies. Let me give you a couple more currencies here, just so you can idea. This Argentina peso. Argentina peso in silver over the last year is down 62%, which seems kind of small, but you go out 2 years, it's 89%, 5 years, a complete 100%, give or take. All right, doesn't stop there. Let me give you one or two more. Let's look for some other currencies that are worth mentioning at this current moment. Let me just thumb through here and let's see what else we got here. Let's go Swiss franc. And so over the last year, the Swiss franc, when measured against silver, is down 41%, which clearly is the most favorable out of all the fiat currencies at this current moment. And so what's the whole point of mentioning that? Literally right now we're at the end of 2025, and every day it appears that we're setting a new all-time high of some kind, whether it be a dollar move or something of that nature, $2, $3. And all of this is being driven by the Asian market. And so as of this morning or yesterday morning, depending on when you're watching this, with the Shanghai Futures Exchange, silver touched $60 an ounce. And of course, here in the US, it was 59 and some change, give or take. But then, of course, was slammed immediate down right after that. But the whole point is fiat's failing faster. Therefore, for more people who are literally just coming into this revelation of where things are heading, it has never been more important, in my opinion, to get a hold of physical, tangible wealth in the form of gold or silver. And silver in particular, just because it is the most affordable at this current moment when it comes to the actual monetary style metals. And of course, gold, for those who have a different, way of life, as well as different financial situations to allocate towards gold. But silver has the greatest upside because it has been suppressed the longest and the furthest. And so, as you can see right now, at this current moment, it is 58.34, and it's good to say that it will probably trend higher because, as you can see in this bar, it's still trending up. So even though it was slammed down in the eastern and western hemisphere down to 57.60, as soon as the Asian markets opened up, it picked up from yesterday's activity. And that, my friends, is something we're paying attention to. And let me share with you what that looks like. So on this graph here, literally every surge up is early morning activity. It's been driven up by activity in the eastern hemisphere. And then every morning, early activity, you got a morning slam down. Then throughout the day, it may coast sideways or may trend down some. But then again, once the markets on the eastern hemisphere open up, it trends back up. And then you'll have little small gyrations of where it'll go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But the downs are the western hemisphere slamming it down, and the ups are the eastern hemisphere taking this thing right back up. So ultimately what this is saying is the trend is going upward, while the West would prefer they continue to slam it down as best they can. But from what everything is sounding like on the social media sphere, the COMEX and the LBMA literally are giving up, i.e. all the Western Wall Street individuals, the bullion bank individuals are shifting towards the Shanghai futures because clearly they know, what's unfolding, what's coming. And the question is, are they a part of it, or have they capitulated and said, hey, we can't beat them, so we're going to go join them? And that's something we're going to find out. But one thing is for sure, gold and silver will continue to trend up despite what the West does, because of course the West is obsessed with cryptos and everything else. But then again, that's a Western narrative compared to a Eastern reality. And of course in the East, they're getting physical. But with that being the case, just thought I would take a minute to share my 2 cents, and also don't want to leave you without offering some recommendations on things to consider. Check this out. Sick of watching your savings lose value? Now's the time to get your weight up. Visit the RTD Silver Team Store and either start stacking silver or add to your current silver stack. Because by getting the people's money, you're protecting tomorrow by stacking today. Click the link in the description to find out more information. Looking for ways to get affordable gold? Then it might be time to redeem your Federal Reserve notes to spendable 24-karat gold notes. It's real value you can control, and it's a great way to protect yourself against inflation. To get yourself some, go to buygoldnotes.com or click the link in the description. And last, if you're looking for alternative banking, look no further than UPMA Precious Metal. As you know, banks aren't protecting your money. They're actually using your deposits to extend loans, which expands the monetary base and offer you pennies in interest. Get back to traditional banking by opening up a free UPMA Metals account where you actually get to save in physical gold and silver in a vault with your name on it. To find out more, go to bit./gold silver banking or click the link in the description for more information.